This is the quickest Toyota currently on sale, I think I'm right in saying. Toyota is expanding its bZ4X range in Australia with this new touring version. It's a wagon version, fully electric. It's actually the quickest Toyota currently on sale. 0 to 100 claim of just 4.5 seconds. Underneath it all, you've got a 74.7 kilowatt hour battery, sending energy to 2 electric motors that combine to produce 280 kilowatts. It's actually one of the most powerful Toyotas currently on sale as well. I think it looks really cool. It shares its underpinnings with the Subaru Trailseeker, except Toyota applies its own front end styling, unique trimmings here and there, and my favorite, a circular steering wheel. Other than that though, this is pretty much the same vehicle, but in many ways this is a very neat package. Like, it's a perfect size in my opinion. The proportions are not over the top. It's easy to park, it's easy to thread through city streets, but also you've got that punchy powertrain performance. It's very quick, you can squirt through traffic no problem at all, get up to highway speed no problem at all, and you've got a nice amount of space inside. Like, my head's nowhere near the ceiling. This has got the big panoramic sunroof as well, with a sunshade over the top. Some EVs don't have a sunshade, so it's good to see it's got a proper shade. And yeah, plenty of amenities and features. Up at the back, this has got more legroom than most mid-size SUVs. Look at all that distance there. You've actually got twin climate vents as well, USB ports and heated seats for the outer passengers. And again, plenty of space. My head's not getting close to the ceiling, but I mean, it is getting a bit close getting in. It's kind of like a station wagon more than an SUV, and I kind of like that. It's got that slightly lower profile theme to it, but it's not like a coupe style of SUV that's just, you know, might look sporty on the outside, but then you lose a bit of practicality on the inside. This is very much like a station wagon. And up at the back, massive boot, over 600 litres. You've got pull tabs to pop down the rear seats from the back here. There's the JBL sound system. Hooks to tie things down, and little hooks on the side there to hold your shopping. You've got a 1500 watt Aussie socket on the side there as well, and some underfloor storage. But that does mean there's no spare wheel. You've only got a tyre repair kit. That is going to limit its sort of grand touring ability, especially if you're going to take it off-road or light dirt roads and so on, where you might be more susceptible to a puncture. With a tyre repair kit, they don't always work, but they put a lot of glue and muck around the rim, so when you go get it fixed, it can cost a bit more money. Having a space saver, I think, would solve this problem, where it doesn't matter what happens to the tyre, at least you can swap it to a space saver to get back to a tyre shop or whatever and get the tyre changed. For this video, I'm here as part of a wider Toyota launch event. We've got a few different vehicles over there. We're going to take it on the road mainly and just see what it's like as a preview, and then I'll book one in later on. We'll do the full test, including the performance test. Out on the road, this is, you know, pretty much just as practical and as easy to drive as a RAV4. You've got excellent forward visibility. I like the little quarter window there, so you can see if there's anything going on behind that. And then the windscreen drops right down, so I can just see straight over, almost, you know, right in front of me. Around the back, it's a little bit tighter, as with most modern SUVs. You've got, you know, reasonably thick pillars and so on, but you do have a surround view camera, so it's easy to park and all of that. We're on the drive launch program. We're just driving out from the city out to an off-road location. I'm not sure if we're going to get a chance to drive this particular model off-road, but it should give us a bit of an idea of what it's like with city driving and sort of suburban driving, which is probably where this is going to spend most of its life. I mean, 480 kilometers range roughly. You can go on weekend trips and so on. It's going to be fine, but yeah, it's not totally intended for long road trips up and down the coast of Australia, for example. With 280 kilowatts though, it is, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying, the most powerful mid-size SUV Toyota has ever offered, which is yeah, it's a pretty good boast. And with 0 to 100 in 4.5 second claim, it's got that excitement level as well. So if you do want to take it out on the weekend up a mountain road or something like that, you can get, yeah, go and enjoy yourself and pretty much get, you know, WRX STI like performance and acceleration. The circular steering wheel is definitely a better option over the square setup in the Trailseeker. It still conceals the instrument cluster a little bit, the way they've pushed that forward, but for me, in my seating position, the square setup concealed it and blocked the view as well. But this just means you've got better ergonomics. It's more natural to turn around roundabouts and so on. It can just slide through your hands, whereas the square setup is sort of, you know, bouncing through your hands. Being an electric vehicle, obviously it's very quiet to drive along. You do have actually double glazed windows or laminated glass, at least on the front, so that helps to provide some sound insulation. But even the suspension coming over some of these bumps and so on, it's not crashing and banging. It seems to be a decent suspension setup, at least in this environment. I haven't come across any sort of concerns or anything so far. It's got that kind of solid braced feeling, but it doesn't feel overly heavy like some EVs. And yeah, it's pretty refined and relaxing to drive. We've got a few different drive modes to choose from, including that X mode from the Subaru, 2 different off-road settings, and then on the road you've got just Eco and Normal. There is no Sport mode available. You can turn the stability control off as well. But yeah, it feels very punchy. It does feel like it's 0 to 100 in about 4.5 seconds. I've timed the Trail Seeker in 4.5 seconds with the V-Box, so I assume this would be pretty much exactly the same. So interestingly, this does have a driver monitoring camera, which is just here, but as you turn the steering wheel, like, it completely blocks it. And so far it hasn't gone off with any alarm bells. Usually when I have the camera on my head, these types of systems get a little bit confused and, you know, give me false warnings, whereas this hasn't gone off at all. But yeah, if you're turning a little bit, then that's completely blocks the camera. I mean, I'm not complaining because, as you may have heard me say in previous reviews, I don't really find these driver monitoring cameras helpful in the real world, so I would normally turn them off. You do have this button here. So this system, as I said, is borrowed pretty much from Lexus. I think they debuted this touchscreen. I love the way that you've got this main menu button that just pops up your driver assistance system. So you can turn the lane keep assist off if you want to straight away, and it doesn't matter if you've got Android Auto or Apple CarPlay running, that remains there. All the climate control remains there as well. So that's good for usability when you're driving along on the go. You can quickly adjust the temperature and so on. You don't have to dive around in or within screen menus. I think that's really helpful. And in terms of handling on a spirited road like this, there's some body roll and body lean as to be expected. This is an SUV after all. But I guess if you look at this from a performance perspective, this is the quickest Toyota currently on sale, I think I'm right in saying, now that the Supra has gone out of production. So yeah, it just depends on your expectations, but I don't mind it. It's soaking up the bumps quite nicely, and it's got a bit of sort of playful attitude to it as well. And with that all-wheel drive grip, you can, you know, give it the beans midpoint of the corner and it will sort out where to send the power to give you a nice dynamic exit. It's very reassuring and safe. Like, I wouldn't say it's playful or rear bias or anything like that, but it feels punchy and it feels fun for this type of vehicle. You've got 4 different regen modes available through the paddles on the steering wheel. So if you're out in the country, you can click it down a few and get some regen braking, or if you're out on the highway, you can release it so it doesn't have as strong braking. I have more information in the written review linked in the description of this video as well.